This is pretty exciting to me. I've been looking to get into some hydroponics for some time now, but really couldn't find, something to get started with that was looked like it would be big enough to meet my needs or easy enough to, use for starting out. And I was contacted by this company by the name of 4D Bias that is bringing this new growing system. It's a self-contained hydroponic setup. It's got the optimal lights for growing. It's got the nutrient solution. It's got air circulation. It's got water circulation, and everything built into it. So it's really supposed to be an easy to use type system to get started with. And they actually offered me I think this is the first one in America to try. It's still not released. It'll be on Amazon on October 5th, from what I've been told. But I did receive the first unit here, and you can see it came really well packed. It's in a pretty decent sized box. All the parts were really they did a good job at making sure that everything would arrive undamaged. You can see they had a nice foam divider there, and those first parts there are called a planting cap, and then these are the planting baskets. There's actually 15 spots for growing 15 plants in this box, which really should be the perfect size for the two of us. And then there's this, you can see it's really well packaged so it wouldn't get damaged during shipping. And then here's all the accessories you need to get your seedling started there. Everything all packed in there well. And then there are these things called a grow deck. And it's two pieces that go in the box there to support the plants. And then there's really a really nice LED panel that comes with it, and this also has built-in fans for proper air circulation for meeting the growing conditions, and the controller for the whole box. Then there's the base here that's actually a water reservoir for all your nutrient solutions. And then just the the rest of the parts are packed in there. There's a couple columns that actually support the grow light and kind of make it a nice enclosed assembly there. And it does come with 2 bottles of the nutrient solution that you need to get started. And you have to mix them up later once the seedlings are started. Everything really nicely made, and it looks like it's going to be a nice looking box when I get it together. And this one here has a pump that has wires running down through it, so all the wires are basically hidden internally on it. And then just a power pack to plug it into the wall. So that's how it came packed, and everything was packed well, and it came with some nice instructions for the assembly of the box itself. You can see they really did a great job on them, made it easy. And on the back, you can actually stack these units, and there's some information there for actually mounting them and securing them if you do stack them. So I'm going to just start putting it together here, and I mean, you can see there everything has a number on it, a little arrow where they basically just go together one way. You just line up the 2 arrows and just kind of click them down into position. And everything on it did really fit nice and go together nice. It did take a little bit of wiggling here and there to get things exactly lined up, but pretty impressed how nice a job they did on all the molding on this. So basically it's it's really very simple to assemble, and this one corner here actually has the wiring enclosed in it for the pump that goes down in the base. So you just have to make sure that you snap that in the right corner with the right numbers lined up there. And that one does have some electrical connections that feed through it also. And then there are some little suction cups on the bottom of the pump, and a little square spot in the bottom you just push down and it sticks there. Now this is the LED panel and fan panel assembly that goes on top. Make sure you get that connector in the right corner. And I actually fiddled with it for a little while trying to get it together, and I I realized after a couple tries that I wasn't quite doing it right. There's a little latch that actually locks it together in each corner there, and what you actually have to do is just kind of pull the corner out a little bit and just make sure that you get it in position so it actually pushes the little latch in first, and then it drops down and it locks. So once you get it figured out, it's really very easy. But like I said, it took me a little while there. You just pull it back a little bit, and then there's a sliding latch up in there. And once I figured that out, it was really easy to get everything to lock together right. And I mean, you can see it's really a nice size. And my wife came over and took a look at it at this point. She said, "Boy, that thing's really good looking. You can put it in my kitchen. I don't care." So that's I got her approval on it too. So this is going to be a great way to get started and try something new. Just to try growing with basically water and nutrients. And then there are a couple grow deck pieces, they call them, that drop in there. And that whole base will be basically filled with nutrients and water later once I get going. But this is just showing you the overall assembly of it. Then there's some anchors that I'm not going to be anchoring mine because we don't have any small children in the house or anything to knock it over, and I just have one of them. But if you're going to stack them or you have any chance of it getting knocked over, I would say use the anchors, and they do give you instructions for installing them. And then plug in that plug, and actually you want to plug it in the one to the left there, not the one I tried at first. And it turns on with the button up front there. You can see the lights come on, the fan comes on. It's all basically automatic once you start it. The green light is blinking because there's an error code for lack of nutrient in it. And you can see I haven't put anything in there yet. And, everything does come with really good instructions to get started, which is, one of the things that really means a lot to me, too. So basically for now, I'm just going to put it over behind my island where I actually have all my other grow lights when I use them. And, this is what's in that package for starting the seeds, and I'll be showing you that a little bit better and once we get going here. And, it's a complete kit ready to go. And there you can see I just set it on the stand on the end of the island where I always start my seeds and stuff, and probably eventually I'll be building a custom stand for it because it's going to get used a lot, I see. So for right now, it's just sitting on a old end table. And I thought I'd show you the overall dimensions. It's a little bit under 24 inches overall width. So it's perfect size, I think, for us. And it's a little bit over 15 inches deep there. And it's about little bit over right around 15 inches high also. So it's it's big enough, it looks like, to grow what we're going to need in it without being too very large, and it's all really packaged together well, I feel. So now I'm going to start my first seeds. The instructions are really great, and I have some cilantro that I'm going to start, a couple types of lettuces, and I'm going to try a bok choy and also some basil, which these are, the basics that I should be growing in it. So to get going, it comes with this piece of like a sponge that you have to wet down, and they tell you to put enough water in there so that it's like flush with the bottom of those little pockets in there. But the first thing you have to do is get the sponge so it's not floating anymore. And I poured the water in, and I kept pouring more on it, and it just kept floating and floating no matter what I did, until I finally realized that what you have to do is actually push down on the sponge a little bit to get it to remove some of the air that's trapped in it. There, if you push down on it, it actually soaks the water in quickly and, comes right back up, and it no longer floats. So then it's just a matter of adjusting the water so it's just about even with the bottom of those little pockets. So, whatever you start these seeds on, you're really going to have it fairly level to get going. So they give you these really great little tweezers also that are good for handling seeds. They're much better than those other ones that I've been using all along. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put like 4 seeds in each pocket to get started. I'm not sure how many will germinate. I don't want to take a chance of not having any plants if I have poor germination. So I'm going to start 4 seeds in a pocket, and then I'm also going to start all 20 of these little pockets. There were only 15 spots in the grow box, so I figure at least I should have enough to get going with, seeing how this is my first time. So it's nice to have a little tray or something to dump the seeds in to start out with. And there's the basil there going in, and these are about the toughest seeds to deal with, trying to pick them up and stuff, because they're basically little tiny round things that go all over. But these little tweezers that came with it really did a good job at grabbing onto them and getting them started. Now, from what I understand, this little sponge here that you start the seeds in is basically, they get broken off into little cubes and put into the grow box for the plants to grow in, and they basically get discarded at the end of the growing cycle. So this is, one of the things I'm going to have to look into, buying a couple more of them so I can keep on going. So now I'm going to start some of the lettuce. This is a real nice leaf lettuce that we use. Actually, we have our fall garden outside, and we've been enjoying this all summer and all fall, and just about at the end of it with frost coming now. Looks like this weekend we might have some. So this will be really a great treat once it starts growing. Now, one thing that I did read about the hydroponic growing is that it's not organic. I didn't realize that before, but it turns out that you can't use organic substances in the water to grow with, because they'll just create algae and stuff like that. So basically all the nutrients are chemicals that you do use to grow with. And there are the seeds. You can see the water's just barely touching the bottom of them. And I'm just going to stick a piece of that press and seal stuff on top of there to kind of seal the moisture in, because it is a little dry in my house, and this is what I usually do to start my seeds, to keep it a nice moist environment. So there it is. It took just a couple minutes to get everything ready to start, and I'm going to set it up on top of my refrigerator because it's warm up there, and I'll monitor it every couple hours just to make sure I get them under the lights once they do pop through. So this basically here is a first look. It looks like it's going to be really great for our needs, and we'll see. You can follow along. There'll be many more videos about this in the future, and you'll be able to watch the progress of the plants as this first batch grows, and we'll see how it does overall. And it looks like it's going to be a very easy to use system. All the lights and the timers for the hours on, hours off, fans on, and everything else is all automatic on it. Comes with some little plugs there to put on the ones as you use the plants, because you don't want light down in the nutrient. It could cause algae growth, from what I read. And it basically is a really nice looking little box. So I'm happy that my wife likes it and she won't mind it being out. So this is actually a first look at the actual first box, I think, that's been distributed in America right now. And you may want to check out the 4D Bias website. I'll put some links down there because they really do some amazing stuff when it comes to commercial type hydroponic growing and stuff. So I think this is going to be a really great solution for us. And I will put a link to it on Amazon once it's released. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.